Alrighty, let's get this thing started. Remember, if you're in the chat, feel free to just say hi. I'd like to get your thoughts on the arc. Alrighty, let's see here. Gonna drop my Mantis off to auto level a little bit here. Have to zoom in because there's so many ships here. Zoom in just so I can drop it here. Well, I guess I better send out some miners. Let's see where we're at with our isogen. Not bad. Maybe let's go set some on some 2-star. I think this is the 2-star system, yep. A few people mining already tonight. Alrighty, here we go. Let's see if anyone's hitting any of these Actians tonight. Oh, maybe not. Very good. Good opportunity for me to go out and do that grind. Maybe I'll send out my Nova, at least to grab a node. Oh, what do we want? Probably Crystal? Let's see if we can find some Billy Crystal out there. Let's see. Yep, I haven't been able to do this research yet to limit that warp range, or warp speed. Anyways, time to get to that stupid system. And there is research at Ops 53 for that, but I need to save up some items to do the other pieces, so that is slowly coming. Alrighty. Hitting the Actans. It's a fun evening. Do some grinding, hit some hostiles. If anyone shows up in chat, we'll talk about the actual topics here, but could be that everyone is taking the week off in between arcs, and I get it. Need a break once in a while. But these acting hostiles will not hit themselves. Hey Steve, how's it going? Yeah, same here. Wednesdays are my busiest day for work, and so I got home and kind of just got some dinner and then decided to relax and go live here. So, any thoughts from you on the 5th year anniversary gift that we got? Oh, that's right. You had a message in Discord. I remember now. You were talking about Odo or the Borg Queen, right? Yeah, it was a good question actually, because I think you basically picked two officers that are difficult to source, and I kind of treated this the same way, where I was looking at different officers for my game and just kind of trying to look at the ones that were difficult to source or had no source option. Borg Queen was important for me either in my gameplay, but the only way you can currently source her, I think, is through the Borg factions, or the Borg loop, doing those expansion cubes or whatever they're called. Yeah, I never really use it for solos. Well, good. I haven't had a chance to see Rev's video. I was going to watch that, but didn't have a chance yet today to see it. I just have other crews I use for my solos. I should maybe look at her, but my thought was I'd have to get her tiered a few levels before it was really that viable to me for the Borg Queen. Solos for me, though, were, really fun. A fun part of this game. They added a lot to challenge me, push me, want me to advance my ships, and get better with my crews. The officers have always been a fun part of the game for me, but I think the solos kind of pushed me a little bit more in that direction. Yeah, expansion cubes, they're tough. They're difficult to coordinate. I'll sometimes offer and push for my alliance to do it once in a while when I'm short on, the charged probes to upgrade the thing, but that's kind of how they designed it, I think, was the idea is that you got higher up in tiers and it was going to be more difficult to level, but you were supposed to do these expansion cubes to give you a weekly kind of drip, I guess, to give you a weekly amount to kind of help you tier it up, but that never really panned out for us in my alliance anyways. Oh, nice. That was a pretty big milestone for me. In fact, I'm still sporting the avatar that you get from the avatar and frame from the Bajoran store. I should probably look at changing that, see what other else I want to do. Yep, same here. Just materials. I will get the tokens for the token mining systems, but other than that materials is pretty much my goal. Although, when you do the turn-ins for materials and whatnot, it's ship parts too. It's a pretty good source for ship parts. And I find that if I can punch up to, or have my ship strong enough that I punch up high enough that I can max my uncommon, rare, and epic. The thing I don't like though is, when you look at the Borg armadas, they basically instant spawn, but you hit enough of those for the Bajoran faction, the Jem'Hadar solos, I guess they're called. You can knock out like all the uncommons in a zone, and you have to wait a while for them to respond. So I don't like that as much. So, question is, have you maxed the officers through there yet? Like Cisco, Miles, and Changeling Kira, I suppose it is now. Yep, I collect them too, trying to save them up. I found I was burning through some of them because I wasn't punching up high enough, but I think I'm getting to a better place now. Just doing uncommon and rares. A few weeks ago, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, I don't remember how long it's been, but I got a lucky pull for Cisco. I can't believe, I don't remember how many it was, but it was enough for me to finish him off his last tier. I don't remember how many it gave me, but that was nice. Cisco is a good officer, I think. Having him max, be able to pop criticals that much better, I think he's a great officer. What I wish they had done with the store was to add sourcing for the other DS9 officers, like Bashir and Dax. I would really like to max Dax. I think she would be a huge benefit to my Solar Armadas, which is why I grabbed her in the anniversary store. Yeah, I had someone else, who was it? Somar, I think it was, in Discord that had said that he was looking for Janeway or 7 of 9. I believe 7 of 9 is in there, but not Janeway. Janeway is a fantastic officer with that isolytic damage. Not to mention putting her as captain. So yeah, that was a miss in my opinion. So the real question is, did the 10th anniversary gift, did it make you feel like excited for for the for the 5th anniversary? Because I think that was the goal for this whole 5th year anniversary. Yeah, it kind of felt like, I don't know. For me, it was decent, but they've given out full officer shards, or full officer pull, like a number of shards, 100 shards before, um, for certain anniversaries. But I don't know, the 5th year anniversary, it just seemed like it should have been bigger than it was. Yeah, if you're one of the lucky ones that win any of those prizes, that would be fantastic. You'll have to let me know in Discord. And I certainly will let you know if I win anything. Oh. I don't feel like it's quite like the lottery, like your chances aren't quite as bad as the lottery, but I don't know that they're good enough for me to win anything. You know, it's kind of like, for me, it's like, how do I put this? Like, I think joining Discord now, where I'm doing the monthly giveaways, is probably a good option for a lot of people, because they have a much better chance, because there's less people that are entering, I think. But yeah, I can't imagine how many people play this game and what our chances are. I just wish it had been bigger. Multiple officer polls, or I'm not sure, big gift for resources. Maybe tier it to your ops level. Not tier it to your ops level, but scale it to your ops level, because you know the players have been here longer, deserve more. Maybe, I don't know. That's tough too, because then if you tier it to ops level or scale it to an ops level, then you're just rewarding the spenders, I guess. So there's that concept too, but I don't know. Just felt like they could have done more. The problem I see is that if you don't win anything in the drawing, then that officer poll is all you get. And unless there's something I don't know that Rev Deuce talked about in his video, it feels like a huge letdown. So, you know, it is what it is, I guess. And let's see here. I think you said on Discord that you unlocked Picard and Data, did you? Oh, 46, Steve. That's nice. So that's the level you can build your first rare G4. Joseph, so Worf, is that Honor Guard Worf? Remind me which which rare you're working towards, Steve, and how close you are. And Joseph, you know, tier 4, that's not bad. I'm trying to remember how tiered mine is. Because he's a good officer to have. Let's see. See if I can find him. Can't remember where to find him in the groups, but hopefully Honor Guard. Oh, there we go. I wonder how we got so many. I thought he was tier 3, honestly. Huh. So mine is tier 4. Plus 75% to crit chance against players for the first 8 rounds of combat. I think Honor Guard Worf is a great officer. I think he's a great substitute for officer combinations if you don't have the new meta with the new below deck officers. Ooh, let's see. My goal here is to find one I can sit on and just reset tonight so I'm done with my crystal mining, at least for the day. The Newton. Awesome. The Newton was my second rare. I ended up getting the Pilum first. For some reason in my brain I always want to say Pilum. I don't know why. Pilum. So the Pilum, I got that first. And I got the Newton second. Newton's a great ship, I think. I ended up getting 2 rares because of solo armadas. I just needed another ship to help support me to take on bigger targets. And it's interesting, I think, Steve, you're about the point where some people in my alliance are, where they're just getting their first 46 rare ship. And I'm not recommending necessarily that you get 2 rare ships. I've known a lot of players who have done 1 rare ship and they had the uncommon G4. They took that tiered that quite a ways up, and then that was their kind of second powerful ship. So that's a good option too. Oh, the third one. I have done that, by the way, and it does suck. It takes some patience. And I heard on a video from Rev, and I didn't know this before, but I guess you've got the 10 million lock, the 1 billion lock, the 15 billion lock, and the, what did Rev say, like 500 billion is the next lock that they came out with? Just can't even imagine. Yeah, the new cube is an interesting thing. I'd already gotten a G5 battleship by the time they'd come out with the cube, and so I already had a battleship as far as that goes. And I haven't tested it yet. I wonder at what point, if at any point, it becomes a viable option for, like, you know, armadas and whatnot. Because I've clearly seen some very powerful ships, but the ones I saw that were most powerful were 60 plus players when I just saw them flying through G5 space mining when I was planning a miner somewhere. Have either one of you seen anyone in your alliances use a cube in an armada? I'm really curious to see how that might work. Mine is like 7 or 8 million powerful, 7 or 8 million strength power, I think. Tier 10, nice. I will be able to take mine to tier 6 tomorrow, but I've been maxing my pulls. And to your point, Steve, yeah, it's a grind. Currently at tier 5, I've been hitting in Federation space because I've just been letting my other 2 factions grow. And I'm hitting in Groombridge. If I can hit the 40s in Groombridge, it will completely charge. If I hit a 40 or 41 in Groombridge, it will completely charge the cutting beam in one shot, and then I just have to hit a 39 Explorer. I think my big thing is I just hate hopping from system to system to one to charge the cutting beam and then go to another system and one to take out a hostile. Back and forth, back and forth. I think with my ships, I think I can only take it up one more tier to tier 7. So not too much farther from that. And the question is, how much do I want to push the grind to, unlock the research? Be next. Four parts from Max Joseph. That's nice. I recently maxed mine. I attribute that success to being a high enough level of a player with a good Talios to farm and be able to max everything. To, be able to farm the parts. Or not the parts. I'm trying to talk and click at the same time. To farm the Venom. But those, I don't know which ones you have left, but we're talking potentially millions of parts left. For, each one was like, if I remember right, there was one that was there one that was like 2 million parts? I don't remember. But it can take a while for sure. Yeah, I had someone else tell me they were hitting Swarm 2. I think ultimately, if you can find a system where you can do the same system, like I finally was able to do that with the level 5 cube in Groombridge, or if they're pretty close together, so you limit the warp time. But it's still annoying. I wish that they had made some changes like what Rev had suggested, where you do something like maybe you could charge the cutting beam for twice, like 2 or 3 hits. Hey, nuts and chocolates. How's it going tonight? Yeah, Steve, I like the research. I need to find some time to get back to knocking some more of it out. I've been stocking up on the items for the research. The only thing I don't like about hitting in Groombridge is people know that you can do it in one system. And so if there are 1 or 2 other players hitting hostiles, then you quickly lose the 39s that you can take out with one shot with the cutting beam. So it's a disadvantage of you doing it all in one system. People know about it. Yeah, you either pay in dollars or you pay in time. Which path do you choose? But heck, I joined this game to get the Enterprise. I've done that. I'm just trying to have fun now. And I don't know about you all, but man, I just get more from the game nowadays from helping other players. Hanging out with y'all and just helping other people out. I love having these discussions about officers and just kind of up leveling up my ships and trying to help out my alliance. Let's see, I'm going to drop some more miners, get to talking, forget to reset these guys. I'm going to get hit one of these days, but it is what it is. So I'm going to get some free resources. So me and Steve talked a little bit about the Ark, but now we've got more people here. Might be more interesting. What did you guys think about the Ark this last month? I haven't had a chance to do Rev's survey yet. I need to hop in and do that. I think I can still do it. See how many of these 3,500. I can get a little bit more. Hey Alex, how's it going? Welcome to the live stream. How about the officers? Let's see, officers this last month, this Ark Picard data. How have you guys all unlocked them, and have you enjoyed using them in your gameplay? Nice, Joseph. I usually don't go for tier 2 because I don't know, I just try and save. I'm not a big spender, but I try and save for the next month. But I just had to do it, so I got Picard to tier 2 as well. So hopefully that should help. I found some savings in time with the G4 parts that I will occasionally farm, just so I can keep refining those. I found that I can go to deep space with my new G5 ship, and I can get with Picard data 5 of 11 with, let's see, Q, Paris, and I think Grush for stats below deck. I think I was able to get 12 million rep for the Romulans without using an exocomp. So And I took more damage because there's not really that much mitigation because there's not a bridge crew officer that does that yet. Hoping for next month. But yeah, so I didn't last forever, but it didn't take too long either. So being able to pop out 12 million rep that quickly without an exocomp was pretty cool. For me, I was fortunate, I think, this month to be able to get the treasury. I had enough for the treasury, and it was actually a good treasury for me this month, and so I got it. But because of the resources from that, I was able to, complete the SMS each weekend, which was crazy, but I've never really done it each weekend. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I had to jump to 54 to do it. So, Steve, as you get higher in levels, obviously you have a higher warp range. And so I'm able to go to this system here. Let's see here. Warp range 285. So you need like a G5 ship or a pretty well leveled G4 ship to get there. But the hostiles there give pretty good rep. So, and these are, as you can, well, I don't know if you can tell on your screen, hopefully you can, but there's survey ships. I'm not sure, I can't remember what they call them in there. But that's where I would go, or where I did go to hit those. And I am using, it's a Klingon ship, so I don't have a Romulan ship that can reach there yet, so I don't get any kind of research from, that boosts if you use the faction-specific ship. So if I were to try and increase my Romulan rep, I probably get a little bit more if I could use a Romulan ship. I did recently get the Corvus, which is the uncommon G5 Romulan ship, but it's only tier 2, so I will have to work on that. And the problem I'm running into now is a problem with Tritanium. I just don't get enough. It's probably, I was looking at some of my ships, like the Voyager is now in the G5 range, where we're choosing G5 material, and I think my Corvus and my Borsche are the same, but for each upgrade on the ship, it's like between 100 billion and 300 billion on the high end. There's a lot of the upgrades are around in the 200 range, but between 100 and 300 billion per upgrade. So I could easily have the materials, and I could easily go through 1 trillion Tritanium in one spend event, like no problem. Yep, further you go, Steve, the better you'll be able to have returns on your rep farming, which is going to be really important with us having these new officers to help us get more rep to get those higher level. And it's interesting, I was thinking about today that, at least in my away team store, I don't see any G5 ships, even for my range. I've had to buy them all with faction credits, so I feel like that's a miss from Scopely that they haven't added the G5 stuff, but hopefully they will, to the away team store. I was able to get my G4, help getting my G4 blueprints through the away team store, but so far not the G5. Odo's nice. I haven't unlocked him yet. But if you have the extra slot below deck, I imagine that would be a pretty good combination. You know, Nuts, I can crack bases. I just don't want to. It just takes too much time to you know. I mean, I have a max amalgam, but it still takes forever to raid those bases. So I don't know. Maybe there's secret someone has for finding mega bases easier, but you gotta find them and then you gotta raid them. Yeah, I think rep plays a part, Steve. But let me see here. So, just as an example, if I hop into the Klingon, nice, Alex, nice. I tried to set up my miner so that they can't get anything. Let's see here. So, trying to pull this up here. So, Vorcha, I have the rep to get it. And this is a ship I recently got, but grade 5 G5 battleship. So I clearly have the rep to get it. But if I hop into my Away Team store, see, there's the USS Enterprise A, so there's the G4 Epic ships, rares and uncommons. But when I scan through here, I don't see the Vorcha. Pachor, but no Vorcha. Tribune. Valkis, Legionary. So for me, there's nothing. As far as G5 goes. So that is unfortunate. So if they don't add those, what that tells me, and I mentioned this in some of my videos that you may have seen, but what that tells me is that I'm going to need to save the faction credits for future ships that I'm going to want to get. And the tough part is the rare G5 is going to cost 1 million faction credits. The epic is 2 million. So, long ways to go, my friends. I want to get the Sanctus, which is the rare for the Romulan, and I don't have the rep for that yet. I'm getting closer. And I am fully confident I will have the rep to get it by the time I get to the level to build it. But the Sanctus unlocks at Pioneer. That's the rare ship there. But, yeah. 1 million credits. I've got 192. I may question my wisdom of getting the Corvus. The one good thing is that, and I don't know if you guys have seen my video on this, but here in the store, when you get to 50 plus, there are these new, and I think they just, when they came out with G6, was that, I think it was this month or no, last month. All Time is just combining, I don't remember which month it was, but it was recently. Anyways, these have pretty good, they're costly. It cost me a couple million, I think. Is it 2 million? Something like that for the uncommon turn-in, for a single turn-in. The rare is 300,000 for a single turn-in, 900 for a double. The epic is, I think it's 100,000 for the single turn-in and 300,000 for the double. The great thing about these is they give quite a bit more of the rare cores that you need for your Armada Control Center, your ACC. but they also give out a good amount of faction credits, I've noticed. So besides the officers and materials and other things that come with it, hopefully that's going to add up over time. I mean, we're talking about 10 to 15,000. Well, I do have the Prime, which gets me more, so I'm not sure how that factors into it, but there's definitely more value that you get out of those paying out faction credits, so hopefully that helps. Steve, so I haven't really been in the mood to grind. I've just been too busy lately. But I think once I get to deep space in the system I showed you, I can knock out that 12 million rep in probably 10 minutes. So it goes pretty quick, but my ship also goes kaboom pretty quick comparatively because I don't have that second mitigation officer. So it's a matter of time for me. There's so many things in this game nowadays that you have to try and keep on top of. That rep just hasn't been, I guess, a priority for me. I think they need to revisit the whole base rating mechanic. There used to be a time when it was actually really profitable, and I would stay up hours and I would stay up late because that was a good time to hang out with some buddies in my Lance and just raid, and you find some good targets. Problem was that it took forever, and now it still does. But something else that's bothersome is when you have some of your alliance crack it, and then you've got like 10 or 20 people trying to raid the thing, it really slows down. And I know you can coordinate and time things, but it still seems to take forever. Yeah, and what I've started doing, Steve, and everyone else here, to see your comment there, Steve, about them adding new things to do, is I've started saying to myself, okay, what am I not getting any more value or significant value from? And I'm just letting it go. I do not go out and actively try and keep up on the grind for the, what do you call it, the security codes that you hit in, with your Stella and do those turn-ins. I don't do those anymore. I did recently hit some just because I realized I ran out of... Let's pull this open here. I ran out of research credits to finish up some of the last researches in the tree. So I started doing that a little bit. So that's why I have some. But I just kind of been letting that go. And then I've got everything in the Amalgam store except the, the Amalgam Cloak. And so I kind of just let that go too, where I know it doesn't take a lot of time, but every little bit adds up, I think. Oh, that's another thing too, nuts. I mean, I need trillions of titanium, and I just don't see that the regular player has that, and anyone that has that is a much bigger player than me. I mean, I really need a mechanic so that every couple weeks I can get like trillions of steel. Or at least a trillion. The Monavine does help. I know that maybe not everyone has that. I bought it, and I'm kind of glad I did. I made that decision that it was going to pay off long term. Right now, with my tier, I can get like, 66 billion titanium a day? Which is not too bad. I mean, it helps. But I'm hoping I can tier that thing up some more and get more resources. More daily. So we'll see. It's just one of those things where ships don't even, they don't benefit you until you get them up to your ops level equivalent. So One thing I'm hoping for, it'd be interesting. They haven't added anything I would say of significant value to the event store for a while, where players are like, yes, thank you for having that in the event store. I mean, there's some okay stuff, but yeah, Steve, it's been a huge benefit to me. I haven't needed the dilithium yet, but I have done the steel and the trit. I don't remember what the steel is. Let's have a look. So, tier 6, and I think I have 2 more parts, so it's still going to be maybe within a week. It's just you don't get many parts daily. But the steel for 1 pull, so I get almost 400 billion steel if I did the triple pull. And I've been doing just the titanium. I've been doing the max on that for 66 billion. Yep, I think that that's one thing that makes me the most mad, Steve, is that it is currently, basically, it's pay for everyone. I mean, there's a few people that have a few alliances that have the refinery, I guess, but it's not available to everyone. Yeah, Scott, we must have the same level ship then. I'm guessing you have a tier 6. I haven't bothered too much with steel because I'm comfortable, I guess you could say, where I'm at now. Although I've been burning through tokens like crazy. I had to burn through tokens just to complete some of the stuff for this last spend event. It's going to be embarrassing to show this, but man, I go through so much right now. See, I don't have any billion tokens for Trit. It's embarrassing. Oh, but it's crazy expensive. Yeah, and with incursions coming up, there's that opportunity that you could have better coordination with your alliance and your server. So definitely something to look forward to if you can find a big target. That's actually something I've kept in mind. That if we can find a big target, then I will hop in and do it for an hour or two. I'm the same. And you still have the problem that if they've got a ton of steel, then you still gotta eat through that before you can get to the other stuff. I actually had, I think, 800 or 900 billion in tokens that I popped just to get a little bit more steel here, just in case I accidentally forgot my shield. I'm really good with my shields, but in the slight chance I'm not, I don't want to burn through my titanium. What happened to me, Nuts? No, I didn't get raided. I just spent like crazy for my stinking G5 ships. I had to spend those tokens because each of the components, I guess we'll call it, each of the upgrades on my ships are like 100 billion to 300 billion per upgrade. So, and I've been pushing ops lately. I think I need to sit here for a while, but oh man, nothing is cheap in the 50s. They weren't kidding. And there is some research I've tried to keep on top of, but let's see here. So if I do this 53, for example, well, it should show me. But that in itself is 1.4 trillion steel. And I've gone up a couple levels. I need to reevaluate my efficiency, but I think I'm pretty well caught up. That one's almost 1 trillion to upgrade that, for example. Let's see here. I'll speed this up here. And I'll show you. So if I swap out to the Vorcha, let's look at the Vorcha. Okay, so that one is 270 billion titanium, 270, 360. Okay, that's higher than I remembered. 90 billion, 198, 198, 144. Is that the smallest one, I think? You stole my wallet, nuts. Admit it. So tier 2 isn't as bad, but still still pretty expensive, I think. So that's 100 billion, 108, 108, 145, 36, 79, 79, so cheaper, but still, oh, 58, woo! So, here's kind of the dilemma that I run into, guys, and I don't know your thoughts, but in order to win and spend events, you have to spend materials. And you can either spend that on ships, on buildings, on research. Well, the buildings and research. Buildings are good because you can spend a lot of materials, but if we look at, say, this 53, for example, 204 days. And that's, I don't have any exocomps or anything going. And I think if I switch to Spock, I think I get a reduction. But 240 days for that one. What's this one? Probably about the same. 361 days. So those are going to take a lot of either speed ups or Latinum. If you do research at this level, same thing. It's going to take you tons of time to do certain research. So you're talking 100 plus days minimum probably, but let's hop into combat and look at some of the ones farther along. So that one, let's see how many days is that. That's not bad, 43 days. I just want to get farther in the tree. So this one, I've done up to 80 days. So not quite 100. I was probably thinking of some higher level researches. That's 89. But the farther in the tree you go, I think the more expensive it gets. 97. And they do have in the station tree, and this is something that came out a little while ago to help the G5 players. I have to scroll all the way, I think, here. Yeah, so they have these special researches to help with certain output or efficiency, I should say. But it's 178 days. So there was cash in it, nuts. I'll send you an invoice. What you owe me. Yep, that's what I need to do, Steve. Those one-day speed ups. Yeah, so I guess that's where I sometimes push. Is my point? Is I sometimes push certain things in the game, like ships. Or I have, because a ship, except for the tier up speed ups, you know, the speed ups you need to do when you're tearing up a ship, it's not like I'm spending speed ups on every single component. I can just spend materials and resources as long as I have it. So yeah, I need to get better at being patient and saving my one-day speed ups from the Voyager and my speed ups that I get from doing my Borg runs. For me, and I did a video about this, but I'm getting like 12-hour and 5-hour speed ups when I do a Borg run. Oh, it depends on the RNG, but it's probably minimum 3 days, but probably 4 to 6 days typically. Of around 4 or 5 for sure would probably be my average, around 4 or 5 days worth of speed ups. And it doesn't take too long, but that's just one other thing that I have to make time for. Well, as long as I get the pictures of my family back, nuts, I think we're okay. Tell you what, you can take the cash and go buy yourself a battle pass. That's probably all there was in there. Let's see. I want to look at my Voyager because that's getting pretty expensive too. We go to the upgrade screen. And mine is probably higher tiered than some. I don't know. Mine's tier 9. 116, 233, 186, 279. So yeah, when you get stuff to the G5 range, it just gets crazy expensive. So I need to formulate a new strategy, and that's partly being patient and just stocking up as many speed ups as I can get. Where am I at now? I probably need to see about doing some more Borg runs. I mean, not horrible. I have a decent amount of 5-hour speed ups and 8-hour speed ups. What gets me is I see research that I really want to do, and I'll just speed something up to get that research. Like the Monaveen has some pretty good stuff, so I've got some better research. Oh, nice, Scott. I think I've got... It's just the resources for me now. That's the big hang up. I think I tiered up mine to 9 last spend event until I ran into the Tritanium issue. I might have had an issue with Rare Gas as well, but I'm starting to invest that in things like the Voyager so I can get that max as much as I can. I also want to work on the Cerritos just for the warp range. So yeah. But that's not as much of a priority. What was I going to look at? Oh, yes. Let's look here. So, since oh, no. I should go to the ship. Sorry. Starship tree. I want to look at the Monaveen. So, good research there, too. I've been trying to get this stuff here, Max, for the credits. I got the Epic. I think I did that just today. Thanks, Nuts. I appreciate it. Oh, funny. I probably need to look at... I'll be honest with you. This one's probably need to focus on the efficiency next. If they came out with a Prime that gave a bunch of one-day speed-ups per week, I'd be really tempted to buy that. They probably won't do that because people buy packs for different reasons. One of them, I'm sure, is speed-ups. And so that would conflict with that. But if they came out with a Prime that gave more speed-ups, kind of like double, triple what the Voyager, or not Voyager, Discovery does, I'd be really tempted. Steve, I will sometimes use both the Titan and the Cerritos. Both of them have good research, and sometimes I run out of juice for the Titan, so... yeah, I've used both of them before. Oh, Scott, that's nice. So, I think it's 1.5 million per day for the turn-ins and like 30,000 Latinum a day. So, I just need to save. That's it. Stop trying to play like a whale, and I need to learn to save my speed-ups and my Latinum, huh? So that's the message. That's the message for me tonight, everyone, is I need to save. And only spend when necessary. I guess as far as the Cerritos goes too, I just don't want to take forever doing my dailies, or not doing my dailies, but doing that weekly event. And I can do it in a capital system with a little bit of time, but if I want to do it in deep space where I'm farming loot and other stuff, I need the warp range. Now, if I had that prime, I think that's a prime, isn't it? Did they come out with a prime in the last month or two for the discovery, like the warp range on it? I think. Yeah, prime discovery warp range. So, give me the warp range. That would be good. Then I could use that instead of thinking about the Cerritos just because of the warp range. That's a good question, Steve. I want to say because when I went to 50, it wasn't that big of a jump to go from as far as like it didn't take any materials to go like from 50 to 51, if I remember right. And so I didn't want to stay there because I wanted to be able to refine uncommons. So it's somewhere around 50, 51. It might be level 50. Yeah, Scott, I think he was talking about ops. So, Steve, I will buff my when I'm doing a punching up to a harder target that's a little bit outside my range. I will buff my strongest ship with the Cerritos, and then I will use the Titan to buff everyone. So the Cerritos and the Titan buff the same ship. And then it depends if I'm doing like a Jem'Hadar solo armada. I will buff my strongest ship typically with the Defiant as well. So maybe at some point the Titan will become enough by itself with all the research it has to make it worth it. But I don't know. I've done enough Cerritos research that I think using both has its place. If you're punching up high enough, you just need your ships to be able to get that extra oomph to be able to do that. So that's my take. Boimler. You know, the Cerritos does have that refinery, but man, it just trickles in the officers, doesn't it? Really wish they, but you know, it's similar to how they set the Voyager refinery in a way. Even though I think the Voyager refinery is worse, where the officers it pays out is like one or two shards from what I've seen, but they're more valuable to me than the below deck officers, even though both have their place. Yeah, I don't have the skin, Scott. My Cerritos without the skin can buff for like 6 minutes, I think. Yeah, I know that the Defiant cost is slightly lower for each tier. That's another ship I would love to max. But it's the parts. Oh, the parts come in so slowly. I did buy the Defiant, so maybe a little bit higher than some of you, I don't know, but tier 10, I need 263,000 for parts for that one, 289, 263, and then these are the rare, I think. Yeah, 318, nowhere near those, and 239. Nice. Yeah. Having a longer, being able to buff ships for a longer time would allow you to buff more than one ship with the Cerritos. And I have done that with even just a 6-minute cooldown. Just have to time things a little bit better, but 12 minutes would be nice. I actually saw someone who had posted a screenshot where they had used Dax. Who was it? Dax, Cisco, and Miles on their Defiant. And their Defiant was something like 50 million power, I think. And that ship did some crazy damage. And I have to wonder if their Dax was also tiered higher than mine. I just got mine to tier 2, so... Yeah, the Defiant is taking forever. It just kind of sits. I would really love for that to be a more valuable ship. I've been going with my ships. Let's see here. Almost. I'm so close. So I've been hitting in the 59 system up here, Dalvor. I haven't even explored the 60 systems, but I think I'm near I'm definitely near the cap for the systems here, which is kind of cool. And I've been using the 2 G5 uncommon ships. And I don't know, I have so much of the edicts from the Defiant for doing it for so long that sometimes I don't even use the Defiant in the Armada anymore. So I'll do my 2 G5 uncommon ships and use my Enterprise, not E, what is it? Enterprise A. Losing my brain here. Yeah, I'll use my Enterprise A as a third ship oftentimes. Oh, I stopped on my Franklin A while ago. I just didn't want to invest the rare materials anymore. Mine's probably not even at that tier 11, Scott. Let's see. In fact, I guarantee it's not, but let's see. Yeah, tier 9. I just didn't see a point anymore, honestly, with the X-Borg. So I need 4-star for other things at the moment, so maybe I'll get back to it someday. And it does take some epic here, but... Yeah, my Dax... Man, I would love to get her maxed. I think I may have looked at this with you. I don't remember if we looked at her or not, but gosh, mine, I think it's tier 2. Yep, tier 2. Nowhere near tier 3. I bet having a max Dax or even a tier 3 or tier 4 would do wonders. Just need better sourcing. You know, I was working on my Pylum for a while, and then I ran to this rare wall, rare materials, rare gas, and then when I got my Enterprise A, got it to tier 7, it started taking rare gas, and I decided to stop investing in that, but then I started investing in the like the Voyager, I don't know if the Titan's taken that yet, but stuff like the Voyager's taken rare gas, and clearly the Franklin does. So I'll get back to other stuff at some point. I like the 4-star rares. I'd like to work on mine some more, so we'll just have to see. I was mainly working on them because now I'm in the G5 area, so not as helpful. But I guess everyone will probably make that transition eventually. But I like the loot bonus that those ships have. But now with Picard and Data, that really helps with the loot drops. So I don't know. I just have to decide if it's worth it to go back and eventually invest in my 4-star rare again. Let's see here. Up to about 50 million power. And I think if I get it past this tier, I think I don't need rares. But that there is rare gas. 2400, 2400, 4400. So gobs of rare gas still to get this thing tiered. I wonder. So switch over here. I was just curious. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting the ship up, but if I go to, let's see. Oh, it's because I need to do rare G4, I guess. And let's see, mine is what, tier 8? Level 40. So I'm at 70%. If I took it up one more tier, that's 80%. That's just 10 more percent. And with the officers, maybe it's not worth it. That's what I've been kind of thinking. So I probably won't be investing more in this ship. If I do, it'll be a while. Tier 9. So it's taking rares even there, huh? Let's see. No, you're right. It looks like I'm looking at 9 to 10. Looks like it takes rares there. Or, let's see. Rare parts, rare refined crystal, but not gas. It takes epic gas. So it depends what material we're talking about there. But, you know, Steve, I think people have liked the firing pattern for the ship. Plus the fact that it, what was I gonna say? I like the firing pattern, the fact that it's an interceptor, so it's faster. So definite advantages, but all the rare 46 ships have their own version of the ship ability, which gives you more loot from hostiles. So in my opinion, you can't go wrong really with any of the ships. I think some people have gone with it. You kind of have to look and say to yourself, which ship is going to take kind of what materials, what's my next ship going to be. For example, if you were going for and not everyone's going to do this, but just as an example, was it? Is it the Hekta or Hekton? The Klingon epic epic G4 ship. It's an interceptor, so you have to be careful of, what resources is it using, but what kind of parts is it using as well. So if you have multiple interceptor ships, you're going to run into a problem with the running to a wall of not having the parts. So it just depends. Each person's playing style is different, but I've loved the ship. And I guess I kind of reasoned out too, Scott, that I didn't want to get the. Maybe I didn't feel like investing in them because I got the Enterprise. And that's tier 7, so that was a pretty strong ship there. Yeah, missions. You can get parts and materials for missions for sure. You just have to be patient to be able to zip around from deep space and back. At some point. So yeah, interesting strategy. You just have to think ahead. Like what are my next couple of ships going to be? I ended up getting the Valdor for the first G4 ship that I got, and then I stopped investing in that after not too long, and I didn't really spend much at all on parts until I got the Enterprise E. And because I did that, when I got to that point, I had enough resources and materials to bring it up to was it tier 5 or 6 pretty quick. Like within one spend event, I think. Which wasn't cheap either, but yeah. And now the Enterprise E is like 80 something million power, but it's going to sit, I think, because it takes a lot of rare gas. And I'm getting some G5 ships now that are stronger, so it's not as important. But, so tier 7, that one takes 3,200. Oh, 5,600. I don't even have the rare ore for it, but 5,600. So I've got how many of those? 3 5,600s, I think. So that's 15,000, 16,500. So like 20,000 rare gas for me to tier this just to take it to tier 8. And then I think it's even worse at tier 8 for the rare gas. So that thing's going to be sick. You know, Steve, I do have that completionist mentality, unfortunately. I do like collecting ships. But there's certain ships I definitely am going to skip just because I can't afford to get everything. That's for sure. Like the Tribune, I won't be getting that, or the Hegton. Those are definite skips. There's no way I can afford to get those. So, I said this in one of my last streams, I think, but I'm kind of along the same mindset of how I used to play Final Fantasy games back in the day. I still play Final Fantasy 14 once in a while with some of my family members and some friends, but those old games used to have all these like side missions and side quests, and I do those just to get stronger items or complete more of those side missions, just kind of, completionist mentality. Yeah, you know it. I like to go and I've said this before, it may not be the smartest move, but I want the Enterprise E eventually. That looks like a really wicked ship, so yeah, someday. And what is it, the G5 epic ship? I want to get that just because it's Enterprise. And I've said this, it doesn't make sense, but I started playing this game because I wanted to play with Enterprise. So I'm going to get all the Enterprises, I think, in the game. So, Enterprise D will be the last ship I get in the G5 range. 2 million Federation credits. So, well, we'll see. We'll see if I can stick to that plan or not. I will have to lock all 3 factions to do that. So, hopefully by that point it will be a little bit easier. You too, Steve, getting the Enterprise? Is that what your comment was about? Yep, warp range can be a pain. Gets a little bit easier as you get stronger ships, though. Not as much of an issue. Your Federation rep is 5.5 billion? That's awesome. Are you just focusing on the one faction right now, Steve? I should probably do that. I've been just letting the 2 of them grow. Partly because I like to grab the what you call it, the dailies for the credits. Nice, Steve. Yeah. Enterprise all the way. 82 blueprints for the Enterprise A. Well, here's 650 of them. So, oh, that was a long grind. I remember claiming 1 to 2 a day. Sometimes I would do 2, and then I spent almost all my event store loot 1 month or 1 event store on blueprints. Whether that was wise or not, I can't tell you. But and then I remember I spent some faction credits on. I don't remember how many. There's probably at least 100,000, probably 200,000. But yikes! It's a good ship though. I've heard criticisms that its shields are good, but not much else. You know, and we could debate that, but just having it, I think, was a win. Yes, that is a good point, Nuts. And that is one reason why I will highly encourage any player to work on their syndicate. Because you'll get to a point where you have an extra exocomp, and I can't remember which level that's at. I'd have to look. But I could, as long as I have 3, I could do 1, and then these 2 multi-purpose. So I could actually have 3 exocomps going for a rep. Trying to think here. What level is it at? I want to say it was like 25 or something, but where was it? Did I pass it? It was one of those like other more rewards or something. No. I don't remember where it's at. I think that's the one that just said the syndicate frame. I know it was somewhere in here. Got to a certain level and unlocked that other. I think it was here. I'll have to research that. Yep, Syndicate has lots of good buffs for sure. Fed Prime dailies. I don't remember, like, I don't remember how much it gives you each day. It'd be worth looking into, but all I know is I've got a long ways to go with my rep. I don't remember where that's at, to be honest. Is it in the Galaxy tree for the Fed Prime? All those Prime dailies? So that's the one you're talking about, I think. So 5 levels increases the reputation gains and losses from hostiles. I'm guessing that's the 20%. And tiers up to probably 100. Yeah. $25. I thought it was 25, but let's look at it. Oh, okay. There it is, Scott. Thanks. My eyes read this unlock frame syndicate level 5, and I totally glazed over the multi-purpose comp. So yeah, 25. So yeah, I always tell people to work on it. That is a huge, huge, huge thing. 3 packs. Nice. Okay. Well, my rep right now, let's see here. Not quite the 5. So I'm at 4 million, almost 4.1 million for Romulan, and my Klingon is 3.4. So I'm kind of wondering if I just keep plugging away at these or if I just let one go. I haven't decided yet. It would go a lot faster if I just did the one. So maybe I'll do that so I can max that, but that also means keeping up on miners so I can keep up with the mining dailies. But so far that hasn't been a problem with the G5 Nova that I have. Yep, and with... I hate how it kind of grays it out a little bit there, or makes it transparent. Whoops, let's try that again. Nope, still can't see it. So I'm trying to remember, you get 500... Well, you have a daily claim. But then there's also stuff from the Bajoran, but you're probably getting what, like, I don't remember what the daily claim is for this now. But the double pull with the Syndicate through Mantis is for me right now, because I maxed it, is 7,500 a day. Plus the 500 from the Bajoran favor. That's easily 8,000 that you're getting a day. So, if I'm at 280, 337, I should be able to do that in like a month, I guess. And that's not counting for, so for my next level, which I'm really excited because it'll give me a whole hit point buff from my generators, my still generators. But about a month out for that. So it adds up quickly. Yeah, Steve, mining, if you claim the mining or the hostels that you hit, and then you've got the daily, you have to remember not to join the wrong one. So yeah, it all adds up. Well, it's just fun to see where we can take this thing. I mean, my factions, I'm hoping to lock them. You know, Nuts, I'm not sure. I have not yet crashed the Nova, or no one's hit it yet. I do know that my Vorcha, so the Klingon battleship, the G5 battleship, is like 3 billion tritanium for repair. And the Corvus, how much is that? Is that 2 billion? It's not 3, it's a little bit less, so. But yeah, and I'm trying to think, Scott, what ops level are you? I don't remember. I maybe even asked you this before. It seems like either deja vu or I've asked you before, but there's a research that Ops 53 that makes it easier to get to these higher level systems. It used to take me 10 minutes just to get like to this one. I can now get there in like 3, I think. Oh, that one's 2 minutes. So let's see here. I'm gonna reset this miner really quick. Have you done any of those researches, Scott, for the highways or the super highways, whatever they call it? Because those are fantastic. They just take some grinding to get there. And I'll show this for Steve and Nuts. So in the combat tree, and once again, this is Ops 53, but all the way over here, there's these highways. Section 31 highway, KSG super highway. This is for the Klingon one. And then the Mortal superhighway. And then you have, I really want to get to this one so I can get the Borg one, get to those better, but all these unlocks one of those superhighways, but the problem is that you've got these intelligence that you have to turn in when you're doing all these prerequisite researches. And you get those by daily, and I think it alternates every day. But you have these special missions when you get to Ops 50 plus. One day, I think they alternate. Scott, you could correct me if I'm wrong here, but one day it seems like it alternates from mining. One day you have to mine so much G5 material to hitting hostiles, 50 plus hostiles. Well, something to keep in mind, Scott, because it will save you a lot of time going to those deep space systems eventually. So I only mentioned just something to keep on your radar. Why don't I? Oh yeah, it's this one right here. So I was confusing it with another. The picture looks the same, but you have to mine so much G5 material, and you get these. I can't get it to show. Anyways, you get the raw intelligence that you then, and I should do a video about this because I had a guy in my alliance ask about it, and he's like, you have to be 53? Yep, you have to be 53. But you'll do those events, and then you can come into whatever faction you want, and for example, if I want this intelligence right here for the Romulan kind of line, I can come in here and I can turn in the stuff I've gotten from doing those events for this intelligence that I need for those researches. So that's level 53, Steve. Well, I take that back. The superhighway research is Ops 53, but you can actually start working on the other research, I believe, at Ops 50 or 51. So, something to keep in mind as you guys level up, but especially for you, Scott, I'd probably look at these and to see how soon you can start working on them. Because I'd probably recommend that you start saving up and working on these. Not only do they have some good research here, but it will help you to get ready to do these when you do get to 53. So it's a huge time saver. 51. Okay. Yeah, I knew it was at least 50. So something to keep in mind. If you're like, I don't know, Steve, maybe you're in this boat, but if you get high enough rep, you have to hit those high level hostiles. And you can actually take a G4 rare ship up to hit those hostiles quite easily, I think. But you don't have the research to save you the time. It's going to take you 10 minutes or more, depending where you're going. So that can be frustrating. Well, you might be a smarter man than me, Scott. I didn't stay long at 50 at all. 6 minutes, yep. 6 is pretty good. Now, are you talking about like G4 space, like over here? Like near the end of G4 space? Or are you talking about up here? Because it used to take me like 10 minutes, I think. Maybe not quite 10, but it took me at least 8. I swear it did, but maybe I'm remembering wrong. You know, what I could do is I could test and see, because I don't have these unlocked, for me to take this ship there. Oh, that's not bad, 6 minutes. No, you're probably right. Just the further you go into deep space, the harder it is, so. Yeah, I was probably remembering wrong. Maybe it's my... Let's try this. Maybe it was just my ship that I was using. No, although maybe I'm getting some benefit. Yeah, it looks like I'm probably getting some benefit from this superhighway I unlocked. My guess is it was probably the... what you call it? It was probably the fact that my ship wasn't tiered as much, maybe. Yep, I agree, Scott. I think that they're still helping. I'm getting some benefit from them, even though I haven't unlocked all 3. Yep, Steve, a lot of research for warp speed, and the more you can get, the better, I say. I haven't been watching as we've been sitting here talking, I haven't been watching my territory. I've been mining some 2-star, just stocking up so I don't have to do it tomorrow, I guess. You know, I'm still working on my level 40 building. I can't wait to get that and get some more research. So I still need what? Close to 500? These quantum communicator things. And let's see. Can't wait to get some of that. Some of those skills. So let's see what opens up at 40. Increase hull health, that will be nice. Warp range. Currently, I guess that would help maybe. Critical damage against hostiles. And critical damage when I have morale. Explorer damage. Oh yeah, that's one I'm really excited for because I have the Corvus. That should help my Corvus do some extra damage. Let's see what I get with Spock, because he's the other one I have unlocked. So 40. So that's for the Mantis, which I don't really use now. Mining rate for the Dvorfisha. Well, that will be helpful since I don't have the Ferengi Whip yet. Hull health for defense platforms, eh. Maybe if I set up some trap for a whale, maybe maybe that will be helpful. That's about it for me. Usually stay shielded a long time. Protected cargo for survey ships, that actually would be helpful, especially for like increasing the mining ISO. Max cargo size. So yeah, there's some buffs there. Nice. I am jealous, Steve. I'll get there eventually, I guess. And then with a list of events, they have oh, what is it? I can't remember if it's tomorrow or the next day. I'll pop into Discord real quick. Just try to remember what they have coming up. Oh, really, Scott? That I did not know. Wow, that is something I'm looking forward to then. I wanted to see... Because I know we have a Borg event coming up, and I can't remember what day it's coming up, though. Return of the Mega Cube, 11:30 to 12:02. So tomorrow we'll start that, and last time I grabbed Locutus shards. Interesting. Makes me wonder if I should go for the Dax shards, because I think they were in the... I'm trying to remember. I want to say that her shards were available. It was either in the Borg or the Mega Cube event or in Incursions. I'm pretty sure it was Incursions. I can't remember if it was in the Mega Cube or not last time. Do you guys remember? Because I may not focus on getting the shards for those two, because I've been trying to get 7 of 9 and Locutus through the events. How do you do what, Steve? Are we talking about the Fleet Commander shards? I'm pretty sure that the Mega Cube, I went for Locutus shards. Because he seemed like one that was impossible to source anywhere else. What do you find... I'm interested, Scott. What do you find most valuable about 7? I actually really want to get 7 as well. I haven't actually looked at her for a while, but I seem to remember thinking, wow, she's one I want to chase after for her skills. Let's see. Seems like she had some Solo Armada and maybe... I'm trying to remember. For research. X cargo. Cautious efficiency for survey parts. Seems like there's certain events, Steve, that you can grab Fleet Commander shards. I was using, I think it was Incursions to get my second Fleet Commander unlocked. And now I was just kind of trying to focus on my third. Let's see, Soul Armadas, that's the benefit there. Entangled Wires. So... Quantum Communicators. Huh. Well, it doesn't seem like a lot, but I'm sure it adds up, and it's daily, huh? So up to 15. Huh. That's the one I remember seeing, actually, that I thought would be super helpful. Next cargo for the Stella. Well, it'd be nice if I was doing much with the Stella nowadays. Increased loot from Armadas. Ooh, Antimatter. Those are getting a pain to farm sometimes, too. Yeah, those are slowly coming in now, so I imagine to get above 40 gets even more expensive. So, yep. I think I'm gonna have to see what the event pays out tomorrow and just evaluate that. Because if you can get Fleet Commander shards for 7 of 9 and Locutus, I might not focus on Locutus if they're sourcing at 40, so... Of course, it'll all be RNG. And my luck has never been that great with those, so... With the Fleet Commanders. Nice, Scott. 41. Yep, you're ahead of me on that one. Getting some lag here and recalling my ships. Because I am OPC! Sometimes if I hit help all, it will actually unlock or force it to go to warp. Maybe? If I keep hitting the help button, maybe eventually it'll go to warp. Oh, I gotta love this game. There we go, it finally went to warp, and I think I'm probably good for tomorrow. Won't be mining any more ISO tonight. Well, guys, it's been fun tonight. This has been fun. I'm glad we could get a couple of us on here and just kind of hang out and chat a little bit. And we went down some different paths here after we talked about the main discussions here. But I mean, for me, it's been super helpful and fun to talk about some different things, but learning about the Fleet Commanders at 40, that is going to be that's something good to know for planning, so I can maybe not waste in upcoming incursions and and Borg tomorrow. So I think the strategy for Borg has always been to, I think, save your Armada starts until, the second or third day, maybe the third day. I'd have to go back and look, but we have the Mega Cube from the 30th to the 2nd, so that runs a couple of days. 1, 2, 3, so that should run through Saturday. And then we've got Faction Hunt on the 3rd and the 4th, it says. And Incursions. Oh no, Incursions on the 4th. So we're going to have an overlap of Incursions and the Faction Hunt both on the 4th. Oh, that's going to be fun, trying to do Faction Hunt while you're avoiding the other server. Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna call it a night, guys. Any questions or anything else before we wrap up? Give y'all a couple of minutes because there's always a little bit of a delay between when I talk and I think when you're able to type. So. Well, thanks for hanging out tonight, Steve. I've started saving my epics as well. So, not quite as many. I think you can run a few more than me, Scott. Alright guys, thanks for hanging out. I'm going to try and do this every week, probably about the same time. Seems to be the best schedule for me and my family with all the soccer things. And yes, my son does have soccer during the week. They're doing it inside to keep up on their competition skills, I guess. So between that and scouts and all this other stuff, kind of tough. So Steve, Scott, and Nuts, thanks for hanging out. We will do this again. I'll try and do it next week, and it'll be fun. So hopefully we'll get more people to join us as this thing grows, and we'll see where it goes as this channel continues to grow and progress. But this is fun, and we'll see what new arcs we have coming up. That we'll see what they bring us. But any questions or anything I can help you with, drop that in Discord. But once again, thanks for hanging out. We'll talk to you later.